Amazing Grace is one of our most beautiful hymns. It was written by a slave trader named John Newton. Now, he was raised by his father, who was a devout Christian man and a sea captain. John Newton also became a sea captain. But unlike his father, he became a slave trader. And we're talking about the man who wrote the hymn Amazing Grace. He was a slave trader, but it gets worse than that because he was also a murderer. Because when he would pick the slaves up in Africa, take them to the United States to sell them, um, if they got sick and they weren't going to make the cruise, he would just throw them overboard, chains and all, and kill them. So he was a murderer. The man who wrote Amazing Grace, a slave trader and a murderer. He was also the devil's disciple at one point in his life because he'd purposely get young Christian men to work on his ship. And when he'd get them out there on the ocean, he'd try to convince them that their faith in God was bogus. And he'd try to get them to turn from their faith. But God didn't give up on John Newton. And he was convicted of his sins. He confessed his sins. He repented and turned from those sins. And he quit being a slave trader and he became a preacher, great preacher. And he also worked with the young men in the British Parliament to try to get slavery overturned. And it finally did get overturned. And this song that he wrote tells of his life and how that we're always given a second chance. God gives us a second chance to turn from our sin. We're all sinners, whether we were a slave trader or not. Without Jesus, there is no salvation. I love this hymn because it's so beautiful that it tells us no matter what we've done, no how bad our past is, that we have a new future. And God sees us as a new creature, born again, holy and acceptable unto him. And that's a beautiful thing.